Recording in progress. What's up, everybody?
So,
Two metalheads here.
how's it going?
So, um, pretty big metal news. Steve Souza is once again leaving Exodus. I think this is his third time leaving the band. And they are bringing back Rob Dukes, who replaced him earlier in years of
A while.
2005.
It was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So
wasn't there that long though, right?
he
A
was there long
couple of
enough.
years, right?
He did three albums.
Or was it three? I thought it was two. Okay, yeah.
Well, they did Shovelheaded Kill Machine, and then they did the Atrocity Exhibition A and B,
Oh, okay.
technically two albums, and then they did a reworking of Bonded by Blood with Rob Dukes on vocals.
Oh, okay.
I actually really like that reworking of Bonded by Blood too. I gotta be honest, there's a lot of old school heads that are gonna fucking come after me for this one. I never liked Paul Bostaff. Oh, the other Paul that was in fucking Exodus, Paul Bailoff, the original singer.
From Fabulous Disaster?
No, he was on Bonded by Blood.
Oh, I think him and Steve kind of sounded alike.
Yeah, they got their moments. And Steve Suits is another one that, like, I got used to his voice, but there's sometimes where he just sounds like cartoony to me.
I
Like he's got this weird nasally gremlin thing going on, and it's just like sometimes it takes me out of it.
but at the same time, it's unique.
It is, it's definitely original.
So
100%.
I think that makes a big difference. It doesn't sound like every other singer.
True.
Although
And I think
I
Rob
don't think
Dukes has
Rob
his
Duke,
own
yeah,
style too.
I don't think Rob Dukes sounds like everybody else either. But
No,
actually, I think one of the times, one of the few times I saw Exodus, I think it was with Rob Dukes.
it probably was because it was probably a show that Left in Ruins opened.
Oh, yeah, maybe I think it was the shovel-headed Kill Machine. Was that 2005, 2006 probably was the tour. So it might have been,
2005.
yeah, I might have seen him more than once with him.
Probably did.
Yeah.
Because I played with the Duke's version of Exodus twice.
Oh, so maybe
Uh,
that's why I saw them twice.
Once at the Chance and once at um, the Webster Theater in Hartford.
Okay, I didn't go to that one. It was probably the chance.
It was probably the Chance, and I probably gave you tickets because you drove me to get the band tickets.
That's very possible. Yeah. Yeah.
That happened on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
I like the Duke's era.
Yeah.
Ever since
I
Suits
don't,
that came back, they kind of stopped playing a lot of those tunes, which stinks because for me, and here's where all the old school guys are going to come after me again. This is my favorite Exodus album of all time.
hmm. I
I
mean,
love Shovelhead Kill Machine.
I get how people get upset when a band member leaves or is kicked out.
Sure.
I don't know what happened this time. I get it. But at the same time, would you rather the band just goes away? Like,
Right.
what do you it's a job. They need to
Yeah.
replace him, you know? So
And
it's
for all the
good that they
people that say,
brought
oh, they should change the name of the band and call it something
they don't
else,
have the same pull.
that's exactly right. Because it always happens. A band splits up, and then most of the guys start under a new name, and now it's starting all over again.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's not like they're gonna write different stuff because they have a different singer. And
Right.
they brought somebody back.
Yeah.
He was in Exodus at one point.
For a decent amount of time.
Yeah. You know, last time he came around with Rob Dukes came around with Generation Kill, I went to see them. They were with Exodus. Not Exodus, they were with Ex Mortis.
Ex
And
Mortis, yes.
I was playing with Rob Duke's puppy. He had a pit bull puppy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It was very nice
Yeah,
to
I met him once and he seems like a decent guy.
Yeah, he was cool. Yeah. I knew the other guys in Generation Kill. I don't really know Rob Dukes that well because he lives in Arizona. I've met him,
Right.
but I know the other guys because they live around here or and play in bands in the same scene. And I've
Yeah, I
played
think a
with
lot of those Generation Kill dudes are from like Rockland area, right?
yeah, and Jersey.
Right.
Um, so like some of their other bands have played with me when I was playing with Angry Corpses and the MOD stuff. So they
Yeah.
played with their other bands with me. And then, I saw them with Generation Kill. So,
Right. Thanatotic Desire, right?
yeah.
Isn't that one of the
And
bands
then
that's like,
recently they did, and they told us this a year before it happened. The guys in Generation Kill told me and your drummer, Ty, they were working with Rob Dukes separately, and it made big metal news to do one of the albums that Rob Dukes was on for Exodus Live. So,
this?
yeah, we knew it was happening before they did it,
That's
which was
awesome.
kind of cool. And Ty was so excited, and I was like, man, I hope this really does happen. And it did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's
And
awesome.
then now it's not that long ago, a couple of months ago they did it. Now Rob's back.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
figure.
it must have been in the works for a while.
I wonder why did Steve leave or did he even announce what happened? Probably not.
Exodus announced it yesterday, and they just said like, "Hey, Steve's leaving, and we love him, and it's been great having him in the band, and we're welcoming back Rob Dukes."
Yeah.
There was nothing like no, Exodus didn't say like, "Oh, he left" or "we fired him." It just said he's taken off. Somebody was recently saying to me, "Oh, I was on the fucking podcast, the Rock Fantasy Files last night, and we were talking about it afterwards." And one of the dudes was saying that Steve Suits has got like a really good 9 to 5 job that he makes a lot of money doing, and he works for a union.
Uh,
So it could be something where it's like Exodus might have been getting in the way, and he's got a really good job that he can't fucking walk away from.
yeah,
I
and
don't know.
as much as people would like to think Exodus is pulling in a ton of money, they're probably doing okay.
I'm sure they're doing fine. I would like to be doing as well as Exodus does with my
But
music,
but
but
there's it's not like rock star money like it used to be.
they
There
ain't making
are
Metallica money.
jobs that you can make more money and it'd be less stressful. It's not easy being on tour.
Yeah,
You're not making money off the albums. So you're spending a lot of time working and not getting paid for it.
yeah, pretty much.
And then traveling and then sitting around and waiting and traveling and sitting around and waiting. It's not as much fun as everybody thinks it is. It probably
That's
was
right.
fun at one point in the 80s
Yeah, I'm sure
and
back
probably the
when
90s
you're
somewhat.
kids.
Not anymore though. It's not fun and it's not like the playing part is fun,
Right.
but even as a 20-year-old nowadays touring, it's probably not that fun. You're driving around, getting to a venue at like 4 o'clock, doing a sound check before every other band gets there, and then waiting till 10 or 11 to play. It's
Yeah,
not that fun, you know?
sitting around on your fucking hands for hours.
Yeah, anxious to play. The playing part is fun, but it's an hour to 2 hours at most of fun.
Right.
And a very long day of doing nothing and waiting or driving, which sucks too. But
Yeah, tons of driving.
yeah, so you know, who knows what happened? Maybe he just
Yeah, this is like the third time he's bounced. Because he was there from Pleasure to the Flesh onwards, and then there was like a long hiatus, and then Steve left, and then he came back, and they had like a return album called Tempo of the Damned,
Oh yeah, I have that one. Yeah.
and they were on tour with Megadeth for that one, and Steve left right before the tour. So they wound up getting Steve Esquivel from Skin Lab. You remember that band?
I remember Skin Lab. I don't remember him as a singer, but I do remember Skin Lab. Yeah.
Yeah, they got Steve Esquivel, and he did that tour. And after that, I guess they regrouped and they got Rob Dukes.
Hmm. Okay.
And then fucking Dukes leaves, and then Sousa comes back.
Well, didn't they get rid
I
of Duke
heard,
to get Steve back?
what's that?
I thought they got rid of Dukes to get Steve back, but I don't really know
They
what happened.
did.
Okay.
They did. I heard at that point when they put out Blood In, Blood Out, and Steve comes back, um, Dukes was ready to record that album. And Chuck Billy from Testament was their manager at that time and was like, yo, you guys need to do whatever you got to do to get Steve Sousa back because it's going to boost your ticket sales. Which it does because then the old school guys come back and they go, oh, my favorite singer's back. There's a lot of old school dudes that don't like Dukes because he's a little death metal-y. And,
It's a little
some of them
heavier.
old school
Yeah.
dudes don't dig that.
Yeah.
So they
It's
got rid of
weird.
Dukes.
If you listen to the Generation Kill stuff, he's not as heavy sounding as he was on Exodus stuff.
Yeah, not really. He's a little more brutal on the Exodus albums.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe it depends on what he's singing over too.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so now Suits is going again. Dukes is back. I'm happy. I like the Dukes era. I'm fucking happy that they're gonna hopefully be pulling some deep cuts off of this one out.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, you want them to be around, you know?
Yeah,
What else are they
yeah.
gonna
I don't want
do?
Exodus to stop.
It's nice that they got Rob Dukes back instead of
Absolutely.
getting somebody else.
It's a guy that you know already works.
Yeah. So why not?
It just seems like a lot of the old school guys are like, bull,
So then don't
stay
listen.
home,
Yeah, who cares? Like, don't listen.
stay home.
What do you want? You know?
Don't buy the record.
Yeah.
So this got me thinking about bands switching singers. And I don't think we've ever talked before about some of our favorite bands who have switched frontmen, and we liked the switch.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be like we liked it better,
No,
but we
no,
still
it doesn't
like,
have
but
to
we
be we
still
liked
liked
it
it.
more. It's just we liked the switch.
Yeah, it still worked. Yeah.
I say, and this is going to be a controversial one,
No.
I really liked Motley Crue with John Corabi.
Yeah.
I thought this album's fucking great. I still go back to it from time to time. I like it better than like a lot of the Vince Neil records.
Okay. Well, so what about bands like Judas Priest, who ended up back with Halford, but Ripper Owens' Jugulator was badass.
100%. Absolutely. And Demolition's got its moments too. There's
Yeah,
some
yeah,
songs on
yeah,
that one lyrically that are a little meh,
yeah.
but this one fucking rips your face off from beginning to end.
And Ripper Owens also took over for Iced Earth for a little while.
That's right.
Those were good
That's right.
albums too.
I like that switch a lot. Actually, The Glorious Burden is the first Iced Earth album I ever heard in its entirety, and it's what made me like Iced Earth.
And that was another one where the singer came back. Matt Barlow came back after Ripper Owens
That's right.
briefly.
Yeah, but that's right. Barlow came back
Yeah.
for what, one album I think he did with them.
Yeah, there is, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's an album that they recorded it with Ripper Owens and released it, and then they re-recorded it with Matt Barlow. It's the same album with, I think.
Yes. All right. Yeah, that's right. There was an EP they did with Ripper. I think it was
I don't remember the name of it.
no,
I have it.
they did an EP with Ripper that was Barlow songs.
Yeah.
And Ripper sang the Barlow songs, and then they did the same thing in reverse and did an EP of Barlow singing Ripper songs.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
It's pretty
It's a
cool.
long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like right, like 2006, something like that.
Might even be before that. But yeah. It would have been right after Judas Priest. And then Ripper took over in Ingve also for a little while.
That's right.
Ripper's been in
Quite
three.
the journeyman.
Was it?
Quite the journeyman.
Yeah, he's done a lot. And then you have like Black Sabbath, which, and I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for this one. I like Dio better.
I understand that.
It's heavier, it's more metal. I'm not saying I don't
Way
like
more
Ozzy.
metal.
Of course I liked Ozzy, but he came
Way more
and
metal.
then there was it Ian Gillan?
Yeah, Ian Gillan was after
There was a lot of
Dio,
guys.
then Tony Martin, then Dio again.
And then Ozzy came back eventually.
That's right. And then Dio came back too.
Well, not after like the last they did that 13 album and then with
Oh,
Ozzy.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
end.
yeah,
But
the end.
before
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
Dio was back a third time.
I think that was one of the ones that most people were like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But
Because again, like you said, they became more metal.
yes. So here's one that I'm wondering if you thought of. We together have opened for two bands that had replaced singers. Queensryche
Yes, I forgot about Queensryche. And this
and
would be the other
Accept.
one.
Yep.
I really like Except with Mark Tornillo.
He's very good. Yeah.
Every one of the albums they put out with him are fucking really good.
Yeah.
Fucking solid.
Yeah.
And yeah, Todd Latour does a
He's
fantastic
great.
job with Queensryche.
Yes, they were great when we played with them.
Absolutely. And the original stuff's great too. And he sounds like Jeff Tate when he does them old tunes.
And Mark does a very good Udo for those old tunes.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. One of my favorite singer switches of all time, and I know you don't really dig these guys that much, but Corrosion of Conformity, when Pepper Keenan took over as frontman, for me, this is where I really love this fucking band.
So, I saw them open for Metallica in 1993, I think. I don't know.
No, not that far back.
It
They were
was.
opening. No, it
It
wasn't
was.
93.
It was. That's the only time I saw Metallica was 93. It was right before the Load album came out. And
That's 90.
they were a three piece. The Load album came out in 94.
Load is 96.
Oh, so maybe I saw them in 94.
I was supposed to go to that show. That was Madison Square Garden.
Yes. Yes.
I was supposed to go to that show. And oh boy, do I have a doozy of a fucking reason why I didn't go to that.
Oh.
Um, yeah, that's the beginning of the Load tour,
But Load hadn't
and
come out
that's
yet.
right. It was on the way,
Yeah.
but Hetfield heard that COC album that I just pulled up and fell in love with it and was like, "Yo, I want these guys opening for Metallica."
Yeah, that's how I saw them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to that show with a buddy of mine that I was in high school with. My sister told me, "Oh, I got us Metallica tickets. We're going to the Garden." I had just gotten in that COC album just came out, and I was so into it. And I'm like, "Fuck, my first concert's gonna be COC and Metallica. I can't wait."
That was
Me and
my
my
first
buddy are
concert.
talking about it every fucking day for months. Dude, I can't wait to fucking What do you think they're gonna play? Are they gonna throw new shit into the set list? Day of the show, I come home from school and my mother goes, I have really bad news. And I went, no, 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 you don't. No, you fucking don't. I got really bad news. You're not going to Metallica tonight. I said, why am I not going to Metallica tonight? She goes, your sister is going with one of her girlfriends to see Celine Dion. And I didn't buy it. I said, no, there's no fucking way. Dude, I got so mad. I got so fucking depressed. I was like mad crying, like angry crying. Finally, my mother gave me the fucking truth. My sister took my ticket and gave it to a dude she was cheating on my brother-in-law with, who worked with my brother-in-law, and the two of them went and saw fucking Metallica.
That sucks.
How fucked up is that shit? And that bitch had the balls like a week later to show up at my house wearing a brand new Metallica shirt. And I had to keep the secret for well, like, don't tell your sister I told you this. And if she came to my fucking house wearing that Metallica shirt, and I fucking lost my mind. I told my brother-in-law about the whole thing and blew up her fucking little bullshit fucking behind his back thing.
Yeah, and we were like 12 at the time.
I was like 15.
Uh, maybe I went. Yeah, I don't remember. I still have my ticket, I think. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was hot over that. Hot over that.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Yeah, that was
So,
a real piece of shit move.
so I have some other ones that I know people it would be maybe less known, but The Haunted, I remember them replacing their
They
singer.
changed singers?
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
which I know, that's more of an obscure one, but I was really into them in high school and everything.
Great band.
Yeah,
Ola is a fucking fantastic guitarist.
I don't know if he was there when I was listening to them.
Oh no?
I don't remember. Like it was so long ago. I don't remember. I don't know if he was always in the band. I don't remember. But
I don't know either. I think I have one haunted CD around somewhere. I think I
well,
might have the whole thing.
I have a couple, and you could hear the switch. And
Okay.
I liked the first guy better, but
Yeah.
I still liked the other album. So.
Right.
And here's another one that most people don't even think about: Cannibal Corpse.
Mm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that one fucking
It-
fell off my radar today.
George Fisher is not the first guy.
He's not the original guy.
But
I always
been
liked
there for a
Barnes
long
better.
time. Yeah, me too.
I always liked Barnes better. I like the material better
Oh
with
no,
Barnes.
I like George better. You know what happened? It was weird because like the first album and the fourth album with Barnes, I thought he sounded really great on.
Yeah,
The two in the middle, you can't understand. Even reading the lyrics, you can't understand a fucking word he's saying, and it was just
agreed.
too ridiculous.
Yeah,
But like even with the lyrics in hand, I remember going, "No way he said that."
yeah, he's not saying that. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, Butchered at Birth and Tomb of the
yeah,
Mutilated.
they were terrible to me.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it was always all about the bleeding.
Well, the first Cannibal Corpse album I heard was Vile, and
Oh,
It
okay.
was George Fisher.
Yeah.
I was maybe 14, so it was, and that's the album that came out at that time. So
Yeah, that sounds right.
yeah, and so I got into the other stuff later on, but yeah, that's Pantera, obviously, is another one.
I was thinking about bringing up Pantera, but I'm like, nobody except like us really knows fucking Terry Glaze.
Yeah, but Phil is the second singer.
Yes, he is, and that was a move that was made for the better, obviously.
Yeah.
I like this switch.
Oh, okay. I mean, it worked for them.
It worked on a fucking massive level. I love the Sammy Hagar records, man.
I
And
mean,
that's the first Van Halen I knew.
yeah, I mean, that was the stuff that was on the radio when I was a kid.
Mhm.
That's, I don't
And
even,
constantly on MTV.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have any other ones in the top of my head now.
My last one would be Trouble.
Oh, okay.
I love Doom, so I fucking listen to these guys a lot. This is the first album with Kyle Thomas, who was and still is the singer for X Order,
Hmm.
classic
Oh, okay.
thrash band from the 80s.
Yeah.
And he does a fucking great job with Trouble.
Speaking of Doom, didn't Candlemass switch singers?
A lot.
Oh, okay.
Like a lot.
I don't know. I've never like been a big Candlemass guy. So I know like I remember the video and it was really stupid video, but I like the song where he's coming out of the coffin and like
Yeah.
this big frizzy hair.
Yeah, that was Messiah Markolin.
I
He
did like
was
the
the
song though.
second singer.
Oh, he was good though.
He was very good. Um, they did a self-titled album with him. That's my favorite Candlemass album. I like that one a lot. Yeah, their first original album, Epicus Doomicus Metallicus, has a different guy, and then they get Messiah Markle, and they had him for a while, and then he left, and then they got this guy Robert Lowe, I think is his name,
Rob
and he
Lowe?
used to Rob Lowe, Sweep Lowe, Rob Lowe, Chad Lowe. He used to sing for Solitude Eternus,
Hmm.
and then they got the original guy from the first album back. So they've kind of had a revolving door of singers to a certain point.
I mean, if you want to go real deep, Arch Enemy.
Yeah,
The first
yeah, that's
singer
right.
was
They've
the
had
first.
fucking three different singers.
Yeah, the first singer was a guy.
Yeah, that's right. Johann Lindquist or something like that.
That's I saw them with him.
Really?
Yeah, it was in Brooklyn at Lemore's. They were, I think they were the headliner.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was good. I liked him with them. I liked Angela better for a multitude of reasons.
I'm sure.
Um, and the broad from the Agonist is good
Yeah.
with them.
I seen them.
I
I seen her with the Agonist. She was she was good, but her personality, like she was at the merch booth and she was kind of a dick.
Yeah, same. I had the same
Like,
experience.
yeah, I get it. You're a vegan. I'm wearing a leather jacket. Just I'm here trying to buy one of your CDs. Go fuck yourself. Like
I had
you're
literally that
you're into
same
metal.
exact
You're playing
experience.
heavy metal. You should expect that people are gonna be wearing leather.
Yeah,
Like, get over it.
yeah, yeah. So I opened for them in Hartford, and after their set, I went over to the merch booth, bought a CD. All the guys in Left and Ruins, we all went over and fucking went to buy CDs. The drummer signs it. The drummer was so fucking cool in that band. Simon something. I forget his last name, but he was super cool. Guitar player signed it. And then we get to her, and she's like, I'm only going to sign it if you put your email on this fucking PETA list. And I was like, all right. And she looked over, I think she looked over at Luigi and she was like, you stink like cigarettes. I hate smokers. And then she made a comment about I was wearing, I was in NYDM at the time, so I was wearing my vest. She's like, is that leather? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, that's disgusting. And I was like, bitch, half the motherfuckers here are wearing leather. Like, do you realize who you're playing in front
Yeah.
of?
How much
People who smoke cigarettes and wear leather.
how much clothes do you have that are intentionally looking like leather?
Right.
Like go fuck yourself.
Yeah, she's a dick.
Yeah.
She's a fucking dick.
Like you want to be a vegan, that's fine. But don't look down on other people like you're better than them. Just
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
yeah.
She is a decent front woman though, man. She's got good stage presence, and she's. I have the first album she did with Arch Enemy. It was fine.
Yeah. I've never been giant into Arch Enemy either. But
Yeah, I like him with Angela for a multitude of reasons.
Angela.
Angela.
Yeah. I'm like trying to think of other ones off the top of my head, but I don't.
I mean, it wasn't really an intentional switch, but the AC/DC switch in vocalists obviously worked.
There's a couple of them where the guy died. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Quiet Riot too, or had a couple,
Yeah,
right?
I would. Quiet Riot hasn't really had a fantastic singer since DeBrow died. What's
Right.
that guy's name? Jizzy Pearl.
Yeah, I think that's yeah.
What a great stage name that is.
It's like a Steel Panther name.
It really is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else. Alice in Chains, the changing singer, I like a lot.
Yeah, they
I
didn't have
like
a choice
William
either.
Duvall.
Hmm. Well, if you guys could think of any other ones, you could put it right down there below us.
Blow us.
Let us know. Maybe maybe there's got to be ones that we're forgetting. There's so
I'm
many.
sure.
That's what we're trying to say is it happens a lot. Get over it. You know,
Exactly.
you know.
And it usually winds up being fine.
Oh, here's another one, and I opened for them, Metal Church.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they've had a few different singers.
Well, I played with Ronnie when I played with them.
Ronnie Monroe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I forget the guy's name, but they just had a singer commit suicide a couple years ago.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was,
and he was like not he wasn't on the debut where it's like the graveyard scene with the fucking guitars sticking up, but he was on like a bunch of like lauded albums from them. And yeah, it was like right after the pandemic ended, he fucking offed himself.
geez. Yeah, yeah. I played with them, and I think it was 3 Inches of Blood and Metal Church.
Oh, how did I fucking forget this, dude? Anthrax.
Oh yeah, John Bush, and then back. Joey Belladonna wasn't the first one either.
No, he wasn't. Neil Turbin was the original guy, who I like, but I liked Belladonna better than him.
Yeah,
And I gotta be honest, I like John Bush better than Joey Belladonna.
I got to be honest. I don't mind John Bush. Like in what's that band he's in?
Armored Saint.
Armored Saint. I like him. I don't like the Anthrax stuff they did with him. It was kind of weak.
Okay.
It was too gimmicky. Like they were trying too hard to be trendy. I feel like
Yeah, yeah, certain
it
albums I
wasn't. It
could
wasn't
see.
the same Anthrax.
There's a
With a
different
different
sound.
sound. Yeah, it was a different sound. I didn't like it.
There's a different sound. They hopped on the Pantera train where it was like they wanted to be groove metal now instead of like thrash.
Yeah.
I thought it worked. I really liked that era of Anthrax a lot. I love the sound of White Noise
Well,
and
that's the
Stomp
thing.
42.
That was the Anthrax when we were young, getting into metal. It was with them.
True.
Joey Belladonna was already gone.
Yeah. Yeah, he was going for, yeah, right. The first Anthrax I really knew well was Sound of White Noise.
Hmm. So yeah, that was a good
It
one.
worked for me.
Yeah.
Did it work for you?
Well, let us
Let
know
us know. Leave comments. Who did we
below.
miss?
Yeah, we had to have missed a bunch. Yeah, let
I
us know.
bet we missed some fucking big ones where we're going to be like, how did we overlook that?
Yeah, sometimes like a couple of days from now, I'll go, oh fuck, like. But yeah,
Same.
yeah. But what are you gonna do? Just came up last minute, decided to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, two metalheads.
Two metalheads. Good night, you jerks.